Perhaps.
Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research, because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, we will be. We have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right, good evening all. How are we? Another week in the Matrix coming up, guys. Monday night, and plenty going on out there, as you would have seen if you're if you are on the net. I'm not on the net too much, guys, but anyway. Hope everyone's been spending plenty of cash. We'll try and get an update on that during the week, guys, and see how things are going there. Someone will pull in the cash statistics out there for us. I just took something off the screen then. I don't know if I was supposed to. And we'll get going from there, guys. So, what's going on around the place? Quickly, let's just have a look. And this is something, that we all should be, fruit and that, guys, it's got to be washed, all right? So, they're saying the national regulators raised concerns about chemical used on popular berries is potentially harmful to young children. Well, it's harmful to everybody, all right? And, dimethylate, guys, or dimethylate, okay? A lot of an adequate safety margin, and it hasn't been tested since 2017. So, what they've snuck in between 17 and now into that actual chemical, guys, who would know? So, just a warning, just, make sure you're looking after yourself and doing the right things, because, we're into it. And if you want any more information that the whole system is just on its head, fury erupts after serious crime. Youth offenders sent on a lavish Gold Coast theme park trip. So, they're from Melbourne, guys. All right, and they thought to rehabilitate them, they send them on a taxpayer-funded trip up to the Gold Coast. These are the criminals that should probably be, actually deported. All right, they travelled from Melbourne to the Gold Coast. The trip was taxpayer-funded. Violent youth offenders were sent on an interstate taxpayer-funded holiday. Guys, if you haven't had enough yet, I really don't know. I don't. This is just absolute bullshit. The Great Koala National Park, that the whole thing that takes up most of New South Wales out there, guys, with not too much exaggeration there. Well, the locals are bracing for the timber industry job losses. So, again, targeted, guys. They'd have to put the koala park where they're going to take out the timber industry, because you can't cut trees down. That's bad for the environment. Mate, I'm telling you, are we going to do something, guys? Are we? National data reveals drug driving is now responsible for more deaths on Australian roads than drink driving. Yeah, the drugs that you're fucking whacking into everyone. You know, this is the whole thing. You know, we've got people out there that are just pharmaceutical fucking nutcases. All right, along with your poisoning and your chemicals and your friggin' 5G and your, you know, synthetic ether. Indian truck drivers, people don't read ride signs because they can't read fucking English, you know. So the drugs are yours, guys, all right, not ours. Don't see too many stoners out there frigging having accidents. Anyway, again, they'll do anything they want, guys, to classify whoever they want to. And, you know, all the bullshit in the parliament about the libs spilling and this, that, and the other, and you leader coming up. So I don't know. We just got to get fired up, guys. And who we've got on the show tonight is Jackie Dundee, and she's a bit fired up, and we should all be fired up with what's going on in the court system. And this court system has to be brought to the attention of the general public out there, guys. I think it is, okay, but it's our job again, you know, to make sure we get all this stuff out. Yeah, they're hanging for us to get more pissed. They are, Chris. You're dead set right, mate. Okay, but we're too smart for that. We're not going to do it. Okay, but yeah, that's exactly what they want. Civil unrest, guys. We know what they want. Okay, so you would have seen Jackie out and about doing her stuff at the courts and that, and doing what she's been doing. So we'll get Jack in, and Caz will drop in when she's ready. G'day, Jackie. Welcome to another edition. We're getting up near the 1,000 episodes now of me and Caz together. So yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
We'll hit that sometime next week, next month actually, I think, or the month after. But hopefully by the time we hit 1,000, we got a few celebrations, Jackie, and that's some wins in the courts, some exposure to the public about the wins in the courts and how corrupt this corporation that's running this is. So give us an update on where you guys are. I mean, you'll be getting stifled and stood on, no doubt, and pushed around. And so fill us in.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll start off with a call out for this Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Yep.
County Court in Melbourne for Dr. Valerie Pearce. This must be about her 47th appearance. So this amazing woman has been dragged through this corrupt court system through about 47 hearings, all up. Absolutely disgraceful. So what's gone on with Dr. Valerie? She's got the county court hearing, as I said, in Melbourne. It is the 19th of November, so this coming Wednesday. 10 a.m. Melbourne County Court, as many supporters as possible, please. So what she's faced with is APRA suspended her licence. It then took them just under 3 years, and it was only when she made mention of it that they referred her to the VCAT tribunal. So according to the national law under which APRA have laid their claims against her, it must be immediate referral to VCAT. So just under 3 years is not an immediate referral. There has been an absolute failure in the true or the correct processes, how to process cases. And as with most doctors, I think every doctor, APRA was advising doctors when their licenses were suspended that they were to put an appeal in to VCAT. Now, I don't know how many doctors did this, but they all hired their solicitors and lawyers and appealed to VCAT, so they are the applicant in VCAT. Now, that is the absolute reverse of how it should be. How can you appeal to VCAT when there's been no matter to appeal? It is just a whole lot of shit fuckery and deceit, and they neglected to tell her that her licence suspension could have gone to the Supreme Court for judicial review. Regardless.
So this is the same APRA that's got, what is it, 8 solicitors and 4 like whatever they are. What are they? They're not doctors, but not one doctor on the board of this, if you don't know, guys.
No,
this APRA
it's
that's
crazy.
been, acting throughout COVID all fraudulently does not have one doctor on its board to be actually telling these doctors what to do. Okay, solicitors and who else, Jackie, are they? You know better than me, but yeah, just make sure the public are aware of what we're
barristers, etc. They work hand in hand with the
Yeah.
Australian Medical Board. But the other thing to note is that AHPRA, we have in writing, AHPRA is a statutory corporation. Corporations cannot
Not
lay
one.
criminal charges, and they cannot administer law. So what the hell are they doing? They are just they are not a limb of government at all. AHPRA is a statutory corporation, unlawfully administering law and laying criminal charges. So Dr. Valerie's charges, they stack the charges. So apparently, according to them, Dr. Valerie is a danger to the public because when she cancelled her Medicare number and her registration with AHPRA, over a 15-month period on a referral pad, she forgot on half a dozen occasions to cross out her number. So she's a danger to the public. She's so much a danger to the public that AHPRA waited 15 months to collect 6 referral forms. It's an absolute joke for which she is facing up to 12 months jail. Look, it's absolutely
It's just
insane.
like, yeah.
It's
And
madness.
we've got the youth that I talked about, Jackie. We got youth that are violent criminals that have been sent on a fucking holiday to the Gold Coast.
My phone.
Like,
look,
are we
it's
serious here?
there's no justice. There's absolutely no justice at the moment, and this is why we need all Australians to focus on the courts and get behind these people because the courts are running scared. What's going on? We are going over everything with a magnifying glass. So Dr. Valerie's got all her questions of, she's got the 2 main questions of law. She's challenging and questioning the gross abuse of due process. And secondly, she is challenging it's section 116 of the national law under which she's being charged, which states a person is not to hold themselves out as a registered doctor. Well, there is nothing in the law that says a qualified doctor needs to be registered to practice. And Dr. Valerie is a qualified doctor. So this is the thing. AHPRA is a statutory corporation. They are giving the illusion that doctors all need to be registered under AHPRA in order to practice. But at Section 5123A of the Constitution, it absolutely forbids any kind of civil conscription. So AHPRA can't civilly conscript doctors and enforce them to register with them. So as I said, from all of our research, there is nowhere in the law that qualified doctors have to be registered with AHPRA. So please, we need as many people in the County Court, Melbourne, 10 a.m. this Wednesday, 19th of November, to get behind Dr. Valerie Pearce. Amazing woman, absolutely amazing. And I'll give you an update with Rod and Beverly's case. So Rod Cullerton and Dr. Beverly Pearce matters have been joined together. I'll give you the brief rundown of this is both of their matters were accepted into the High Court. The directions hearing was heard on the 9th of April. At that hearing, the newest High Court Justice Beach Jones, who came up from the New South Wales Supreme Court, remitted both of their matters down to the Federal Court. Now, the Federal Court can hear constitutional matters. They can hear matters pertaining to anything under federal acts. However, the Federal Court does not have territorial operation, meaning it cannot invalidate in whole or in part state or federal acts. Only the High Court can do that. And both Rod Cullerton's matter and Dr. Beverly Pearce's matter, that is the remedy they seek, to invalidate in whole or part. So with Rod, it is sections of the Emergency Management Act WA, and Dr. Beverly, it is to invalidate sections of the Public Health and Wellbeing Act of Victoria. Now, the Federal Court cannot offer that remedy. So An injunction was put in against the federal court hearing the matter, as at the same time there was a challenge to the jurisdiction of the federal court to even hear the matter. That was lodged in the High Court. So, as we know, the maxim in law, jurisdiction once challenged cannot be assumed, it must be proven. And the only court that can determine the jurisdiction of the federal court is the High Court. So it was lodged for the High Court with a jurisdictional challenge to make a determination if the federal court had territorial operation, could it provide the remedy of invalidating state acts. That matter was rejected by Adam Griffith, a High Court registrar. Now, they're very, very, they make sure that we all adhere to the High Court rules. I mean, we've got to have our font correct. We've got to have the right size. We've got to ensure our margins are correct and all that bullshit. Yet he used High Court Rule 6.071. Now, there's a certain protocol with that. Under that High Court rule, that means that he looked at their matters and on the face of it, so just reading over it, their matters looked to be frivolous or ill-conceived. Nothing could be further from the truth. So with this High Court rule, he must provide his reasons. Why did you come to that decision? He must give intelligible, justifiable grounds why he came to the decision that the matter looked frivolous and ill-conceived on the face of it. He failed to do so. Secondly, under that High Court rule, the second protocol is he must contact the applicants and give them an opportunity to discuss and go over, you know, what he thinks is frivolous or ill-conceived. He must speak with them about that and give them an opportunity to respond. He failed in that. So another, then we sued him, basically, or Dr. Beverly and Rod Cullerton sued Adam Griffith for failing to adhere to the act, so basically perverting the course of justice, not doing his job properly. So that matter was lodged in the High Court, and his colleague, High Court Registrar Anna Bennett, rejected it. And the grounds she gave was under High Court Rule 6.072, which is you need to seek leave of a justice. And we thought, now hold on a minute. You can't go to Rule 6.072 without first using Rule 6.071. So an email was sent to Anna Bennett asking her the question, did you first use High Court Rule 6.071? And the response was, yes, she did. But she just failed to mention that. So Rod and Beverly are suing her for perverting the course of justice and obstructing the people's access into the High Court. Now, there was a directions hearing for that in the Supreme Court last Friday, the 14th of November. Dr. Beverly Peers appeared remotely. Rod Cullerton was in the courtroom, and we had 90 plus people in the courtroom. Yeah. So there was one row of seats. Yeah. We went and raided the other courtrooms and dragged all the chairs in. We made 3 rows. Still wasn't enough. There were people on the floor and lining the walls and everything else. It was absolutely brilliant. So, you know, they drag it out for us. We've got to listen to all the other irrelevant matters beforehand. And during that time, as we're listening to the other matters, oh shit, sorry, I'm trying to wedge my phone up here. The Solicitor General approached Rod and wanted to make some kind of deal. Now, Rod's not making no deals. He was also handed a sheet of paper. Get this, saying that now the Commonwealth Attorney General and the Attorney Generals of the states may intervene in the matter. So the question is, like, this is a joke. It's a freaking joke. I heard earlier some guy, Chris, I keep saying this. This is an IQ test and it's a tolerance test. They're trying to push us over the limit, but you know what? We're going to remain calm, peaceful, lawful, and we're just going to drag their asses through the courts for perverting the course of justice and make them accountable peacefully and lawfully. So,
Unreal.
because Anna Bennett is a High Court registrar, and the Attorney General's office will represent her, but the question is posed, and just note this: the paper that Rod got said the Attorney General of the Commonwealth and the other Attorney Generals may intervene, which also means they may not intervene. So the next case is on the 15th of December in the New South Wales Supreme Court. I'll post that up as we get closer to it. But there is a massive question now to all of the Attorneys Generals and the Commonwealth Attorney General. Why are you considering intervening in a matter that pertains to an individual being a Commonwealth public official, High Court Registrar Anna Bennett, an individual? When you had the opportunity to intervene in the Rod's matter, the Section 92, and Dr. Beverley's matter, the Section 109, that is for all Australians. Why now, when your High Court Registrar has perverted the course of justice, are you considering intervening? Like, it's
Jackie,
just...
Would you like me to tell you why?
Yeah, tell me.
Go, Caz.
Well, no, I
Because
was just going
they're going to look at the time to cover their tracks. Go, Caz, sorry.
Yeah. No, well, David, it's really interesting. I find the timing of that because David Limbrick put this out about judges. He's moving to have them. Well, have a listen.
We ensure that there's trust in the Victorian judicial system. In the majority of Commonwealth jurisdictions, judges are appointed by independent commissions with some level of public scrutiny. In Victoria, however, under the Victorian Constitution, judges are essentially appointed by the Attorney General. What we're proposing on Wednesday is an improvement to this process that would allow for new judges, before they're appointed, to be invited to appear before a parliamentary committee consisting of a wide range of members of parliament from all sides of politics.
Now, my question here is that not are we supposed to have separation of powers? So if the Attorney General appoints the judges and the Attorney General is appointed by Parliament, like, aren't we just going in a circle where they're ass protecting?
Look, we are to a certain extent, and this is the thing. I mean, Parliament does appoint the judges, but look, I have always been very, very hard on David Limbrick and all of the other bloody people in Parliament. But, you know, I think he's got a good heart, David Limbrick. But so sorry, David, for all the abuse I gave you over the years. But I tell you what, David Limbrick, when I caught up with you and the couple of times I've spoken to you and then ended up abusing you, I asked you about the Constitution. You knew nothing about it and you didn't want to. And it's the same with every single senator. Malcolm Roberts doesn't want to know about it. Alex Andick's not doing anything about it. Babbitt, Rennick, none of them. So this is the thing. I do not trust any of them. All we have heard them do is talk. All they've done is talk. And they've said what they know we want to hear.
And there's also some very suspicious voting records as well. Now, Jackie, just on that, I want to bring this in because this is Tim Punpoliak. Now, what's happened is he's put this out because the ABC has run a documentary that Tony Abbott put together on Australia, but he's picked this up.
One constant since 1788 has been the presence of the Crown. Of course, It's a different crown today than in George III's time, and in Australia the crown is represented by the Governor-General. Still, it's a form of servant leadership, and it has served us well, and I hope it never changes.
So on the surface, that all sounds fine, right? He's basically saying, look, we've always had the crown, it's evolved, but it's still doing its job and we're lucky to have it. But just slow down for a moment. Let's have a look. The first line that he says is one constant since 1788 has been the crown. Now that's true symbolically, but legally it's not. The crown of 1788 was the British crown under George III. Imperial sovereignty, laws were made in London. Now the crown of 2025 is something entirely different. It's no longer British. It's now Australian. It's a separate legal entity created through a series of legislative changes culminating in the Australia Act of 1986.
So he's picked up a few things there. Jackie, what's your take on that?
Look, what he said is I only listened to that briefly, and I sent it over off to my friends to and the team, etc. Have a look at what the guy says is about 70% correct, not 100% correct. And this is the problem that we've got, is that we got a lot of people jumping on board and making all these claims and statements. So I suggest everybody, you must get on to Darren Dixon's site, constitutionwatch.com.au. This is where you will find all of his research, which is backed up by FOIs, it is backed up by the statutes, it's backed up by legislation, etc. You can actually read exactly and reference everything on his site rather than getting things half right or 3/4 right, because this is part of the problem. People are not getting things absolutely correct. And I tell you, I find it very interesting, and it's encouraging that all of a sudden we are hearing people speak of the Constitution. So fantastic. That is fantastic. But
it is. Now the other thing, sorry Dave, you got sound now.
No, you go. Yeah, you guys are on fire. Here, go for it.
No, well look, here's the other thing that I find very interesting. Now we know that JD Vance knows, I believe anyway, that he knows what's going on here. But look, hats off to Hoodlaw. He's picked this up. So what actually happened was JD Vance has given a speech, and he said one of the biggest questions for American policy over the next 10 years is how to ensure that you are a sovereign citizen. And you cannot be a sovereign citizen if any private corporation or any government can steal something from you that belongs to you. Now, I find that very interesting with the whole sorry, that's the wrong one. Sorry, yeah, there it is. Oh, there it is there. So I find it very interesting that he's actually using that term, and I wonder if that's not because, I mean, we all know, and he would know that it's an oxymoron, like the guy's not dumb. So I'm wondering why he's using that term, and specifically, I'm wondering if it's a shot across the bow.
I don't know. Look, I don't know. I think this is the thing, I tell you, I had a month off Facebook, a month away. It took me well over 2 weeks just to get back on and look at Facebook and social media. It is just a repeat. It's like it is just going in a revolution. It's just going in circles and circles and circles. It's the same thing. I can't get onto it other than just to post information now. It's like the distraction is so deep. People get stuck in this almost portal, this time warp where they're just scrolling through and posting more about what comes out about the vaccines and this and that. I'm over it. Solution, remedy. That's all we need to be focusing on. I've heard of JD Vance. Yeah, look, I've heard of JD Vance. I don't know of him, but why the heck would you be using that terminology? The people of the Commonwealth and anybody born of their nation are sovereign to their nation, and sovereign is, your divinity. So we here in Australia are the sovereign beneficiaries by inherent right of the Commonwealth, and the people of the Commonwealth are the Commonwealth, and we are the absolute supreme authority and uncontrollable authority. That is how we are referred to in Quick and Garren. Go and have a look at that reference. So,
well, you can see people popping up everywhere and they're challenging the system, and here's one.
What is one? Yeah, good.
You're the owner or occupier of this place?
No comment.
Okay. Just want to chat with Gabriel.
I don't know who you're talking about.
You don't know Gabriel?
I don't know who you're talking about. There we go.
Do you live here?
How about that?
Do you live here?
The Australian Police Force.
That's right.
Yes, that's right. Folks, these guys right here behind me have all sworn an oath to a foreign dictator. These guys right here behind me operate under a false name in order to maintain a massive fraud against the people of this country, against you, the people of Australia. My brothers and sisters, these guys right here behind me are a foreign power, and this government, the one these traitors here protect and serve, the government of Australia, is guilty of treason.
They run away
good on
quick.
you, mate.
Yeah.
Look,
Well done.
Jackie, I just want to move on really quickly because you had pretty much a stellar cast on Friday after Friday. You had pretty much a stellar cast, and Rocco was there, the backyard lawyers, and he's just covered it by this.
Rocco Vardy reporting for lockdown conditions. Before I do so, I must say yesterday I was at an incredible Commonwealth Custodians meeting where Jackie Nundy was there. There was Helen Delaney. There was Mona. There was Rene. We had a ball. There was nearly 15 of us, and we were lectured by Keith Charles. He is incredible. The knowledge he was imparting was it was just gold, because it's all about bringing everyone from the Admiralty system back onto common land, common law. And I highly recommend everyone to get behind the Commonwealth Custodians. And don't forget, guys, that we have on Wednesday the 19th of November at the County Court for Dr. Valerie Peers, and on the 15th of December at the Supreme Court of New South Wales, Rod Cullerton and Dr. Beverly Peers. We need the numbers, guys. We need all the courts to be filled. We are just like Jackie.
I'll leave it there, but anyway, so the Commonwealth Custodians, so Keith Charles gave a talk to everyone with that, and I've got their, actually got their short that they've done. Do you want me to play that, and then I'll ask you questions about it? Yeah.
Oh, look.
Of the Commonwealth of Australia has already begun. In 2015, the true authority of the non-corporate Commonwealth was reactivated by reclaiming the Office of Accountable Authority, an office legally separate from the counterfeit corporate Commonwealth and its Australian citizens. Only nationals of the Commonwealth can lawfully occupy de jure constitutional offices. Since then, we have advanced step by step the creation of de jure Commonwealth offices, the establishment of the Commonwealth Public Trust, and the Solemn League and Covenant of the People. The next progression is the electoral roll. This role ensures that only nationals of the Commonwealth may lawfully elect its Parliament and Senate. Corporate citizens cannot vote or stand for election. To safeguard the integrity of the Commonwealth, we must maintain a roll of men and women who choose to stand within the constitutional autonomous community. By enrolling, you correct your standing from Australian citizen back to national of the Commonwealth. Break the presumption of voluntary membership in the corporate system. Have your allegiance lawfully witnessed and recorded, and join fellow nationals in reclaiming the offices of the Commonwealth. Every enrollment strengthens the de jure Commonwealth, affirms the sovereignty of the people, and restores governance that is lawful, accountable, and protective of God-given rights under English common law and imperial law. This is the true remedy to free ourselves from the Roman corporate cult system, a system of slavery cloaked in deception, sustained by fear, division, and corporate-controlled media. We are not here to destroy their society. Every man and woman has freedom of choice. We are simply choosing to return, peacefully and lawfully, to the true Commonwealth.
We'll leave it there. The full clip will be available on the website. But it's very interesting. What I like about it is it's a very easy solution. It's basically you go through the steps and you return back to the Commonwealth.
Absolutely. This is one of the problems, one of the issues that I think we've faced over the past 5 years. People are just, they're adding too much, what can I say, fluff and complication to everything. The answers are simple. Go to the anterior of things and challenge it in the courts, which is how we are doing it. And look, Keith and I work as a cooperative. I have so much admiration for Keith Charles. I'm a Commonwealth National. I'm nearly finished all of my process with it. I'll be going on to the electoral roll, etc. So everyone needs to go on to commonwealthcustodians.org. You will find in the top right-hand corner there is a button for meetings. There is a meeting every Monday night. You can get on there and ask questions. The steps, how to become a Commonwealth National and how to, get your live birth certificate, etc., how to go on to the electoral roll, etc. Everything is very carefully explained in a step-by-step process. And if you are having issues or difficulties understanding anything, hop on to the meetings that are on Monday night. I think they're at 8 o'clock every Monday. So I encourage every single Australian to get on board with this. This man is a very honourable, honest man. And this is why we work in a cooperative, because we're exactly of the same mindset. We must save our country from these corrupt criminals that have inverted everything. We, the people, are the supreme and ultimate authority. We are the uncontrollable authority of this nation. And we have got this, come
Jackie,
over back to the true Commonwealth.
What I find encouraging at the moment, though, is that there is every time I'm on social media, a newbie is popping up, and they understand that what happened in 73, the 73 deception, and it's young people too. And I'm finding it really encouraging that it's just breaking out after so many years that we've been in the trenches,
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think COVID was the worst thing they ever did because it woke everyone up. I mean, I've been trying to wake people up for over 25 years. Daryl O'Brien was my first guru in law. And like my jaw just dropped 28 years ago when I recognised, I knew it was corrupt. And when you start looking into it, it's like, my God, how did we get so far? It's the distractions. Go to the football, drink your beer, look over here, look over there. They create all kinds of distractions, like major distractions. It'd be interesting to see in the last 5 years how many wars we've had, how many plagues, how many earthquakes, how many floods, how many bushfires. I think we have had more natural disasters, war. The biggest possible distractions have occurred over the last 5 years than probably the last 100 in total. It's insane. Transgender, we're in a mad, mad world.
Yeah, no, we've been flooded with just disinformation. Dave, you haven't said a lot. Did you want to say something? Because I'm going to call.
No, I'm just sitting back. Look, I'm just, I'm enjoying the conversation actually. And look, we all know what we got to do. The problem is we're not really doing it, are we, guys? You know what I mean? We're not turning up, with 1,000 people at a court case, which is a court case that actually shift the whole thing in Australia if we expose it to enough people and get it pushed through the right way. So, again, I'm slightly disappointed, Caz, that we've been doing this for a long, long time. We reach a pretty vast audience, and yet people's lives still seem more important than the important factor of taking a bit of time out now to go and stand behind those people like Jackie, Rod, etc., and get onto the custodians, and get yourself involved, guys. All right, because whilst we're all sitting in the stands, all right, we're not winning the game down there on the field. Okay, so I've been sitting here listening to it, feeling a little bit disheartened. You know,
Look,
that
Well, you're
the
correct,
answers are
actually.
there.
put the amount of people that we need to a place to get a result when the result's there for the taking. So, yeah, that's sort of where my mind's going at the moment. Comments?
The only
I'll
way
leave
to
that one.
control the executive and the legislative is with judicial force. We must remain peaceful and lawful at all times, and we are not going to succumb to them trying to force us or prompt us into any kind of retaliation, because that's what they are trying to do. They are causing us such hardship. The only way we can fight this is in the courts, and please, everybody, get onto Commonwealth custodians, come back into the true Commonwealth, which is under the Constitution, the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900 UK, as proclaimed on the 1st of January 1901 under the Royal Coat of Arms. It is the only way. It is the supreme written law of this nation. And I don't even like to say the sovereign C word, but you know what? I think government actually meet that definition, because they are the ones that are, they do. They are the ones that seem to think that the law doesn't apply to them. Well, the Constitution does, and it's a restraint on you, and they must adhere to it.
What I find extraordinary is that there's a whole group of, like, the cooker watchers call us cookers, and they are, and they carry on and that sort of stuff. The truth of the matter is, we're the lawful ones.
Absolutely,
in all
we
of
are.
this, we are the lawful ones. All we want is the restoration of lawful governance. And like, that makes us cookers, apparently. But oh no, the government never does anything wrong. Like, you have to be kidding me. Like, they really just got their heads so far in the sand on that one. Look, we're being taken out tonight by Donovan Gall. Thank you, Donovan Gall, for sending me this song. It's called Sydney Stands Together. Jackie, if you'd like to have some final words, and Dave, if you'd like to wrap up and close the show, I'll hit play.
Yep. Look, other than please, people, get behind these people. Rod Culleton is amazing. Dr. Beverly Pearce, Dr. Valerie Pearce, and I want to let everybody know, there was a case, we lodged a case in the federal court. The amazing Dawn Kelly from WA is the plaintiff in that case. It is to invalidate the online safety data. It'll also knock out the Digital ID Act. That case was lodged in the federal court 1 month ago, and we're waiting to hear. There've been 3, possibly 4, there were 3 emails already sent. The first one, they said be patient. The second one, third one's been sent. They still haven't filed it. So the reason we lodged this matter in the federal court is because it's taken us 5 years to get matters into the High Court. The only way you can get into the High Court directly is using its original jurisdiction pursuant to sections 75 and 76. So if you go into the next court below the federal court, because you're not going to win there, then you can appeal it up to the High Court. So we're going up using the method of appellate rights into the High Court. Put pressure on the courts, people, and we need plaintiffs. We have got cases written against treaties, against land taxes. We've got cases written to take out corporations such as APRA, demanding that they disclose, are they trading or foreign trading corporations within the meaning of section 5120 of the Constitution. And if you are such, we demand your articles of association. Where's your money going to that you're collecting, etc., etc. You have got no authority or jurisdiction to administer law at all. So it's time, people. The only way to correct the system and rid us of all of this rubbish. I mean, there's a case written there. Where's the Consolidated Revenue Fund? Why are we paying tolls? Australia makes the largest amount. Our tolls are more expensive than any other country. Now, you've got to think about that, how many roads are in America and their tolls. This Australian government corporation is screwing us over. They are in bed with foreign powers. We've got, as I said, if you're interested in being a plaintiff, please email Daryl O'Brien at info@knowyourrightsgroup.com.au. So the only reputable people that I trust 100%, I should say, let me say with absolutely correct information that you can all reference yourself and go and read it yourself is Darren Dixon's site, constitutionwatch.com.au, and all of Australia. You must know about Know Your Rights. That's Darren Dixon, Mike Palmer, and Daryl O'Brien. They are the only ones I can think of that are actually out there and active. And of course, I have the utmost respect for Wayne Glue, Dick Yardley, Stephen Limbury, etc. But just ensure that the information that you are getting is 100% and not 70% correct and leading you up a garden path. Constitution is the supreme written law of this land. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on and share information. Thank you.
No, hey, no, thanks, Guy. Yeah, thanks, Jackie. It's great, mate. And look, guys, we got them on the ropes. You know, we really have. We got these guys on the ropes with wonky knees. You know what I mean? They got the gloves up, and they're not really wanting too many more punches. All right, they're showing that. So what we got to do now? You know, we can punch, we can do this, we can do that, but they own the referee. They own the corners. We need the crowd, all right, because the crowd holds them at bay, guys, all right, and holds them to be honest. So I'm asking again, people, let's get behind these people that are doing God's work for you to get you your freedom back. Good night, folks.
Why is it that the world connects to Sydney? That harbour bridge, that opera house, that bridge between Australia and the New World. Sydney is the bridge between the New World and the Old World.